Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guests on this next interview. Now, from France to Turkey, Europe is being scorched by relentless and deadly heat waves. With temperatures nearing 45 degrees Celsius, wildfires threatening populated areas, and water shortages disrupting daily lives, countries from Spain to Germany are issuing emergency alerts. Infrastructure is straining, public health is under pressure, and lives are at risk. Joining us today on TVP World to examine the causes, consequences, and necessary responses is Katarzyna Bilewska, spokesperson for Greenpeace Poland, leading voice on environmental protection and public health advocacy across the region. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning.
So we're looking at this heat wave that is hitting Europe right now, and my question is, how unusual is this kind of current wave of extreme heat across Europe, or are we seeing perhaps a new baseline?
What we are observing now, it should be a flashing red warning light for the future of livelihood in the whole world. Recently, just yesterday, New York Times published a map of how the temperature has changed in particular countries over the decades. And it looks really devastating at what we experienced in Europe, especially in July and the beginning of August, is really, really horrifying. What is also unprecedented is the heat wave that hit Nordic countries in July. We observed as much as 22 days in Finland of the temperature that did not get below 30 degrees during the day, and also as much as 10 days of the tropical nights. We are talking about Finland, Arctic Circle, and we did not, the scientists did not record such long heat waves in the past. There was similar event in the 19th century, but what we are experiencing now is really, really devastating. And what is even more worrying is that despite the fact that in 2018, Intergovernmental Panel of the Climate Change, the leading scientific body for the whole world that is working under United Nations umbrella, warned the world and world leaders that without very focused action that will include decrease the use of the fossil fuels and also additional measures to protect nature, we won't be able to prevent such events, and those events will be even more devastating. What we know now is that since 2018, a lot has changed, but only for worse. Such heat wave that Nordic countries experienced, Norway, Finland, Sweden, is in 2025 twice more likely than in 2018. So we are going in the really wrong direction, I would say, without taking seriously what scientists are saying. And scientists are saying it clearly. We have to achieve climate neutrality by 2050. And we can't wait until the end of 40s. We have to do it now. We have to start phasing out coal, gas, and natural gas and oil in our regular consumption in order to get into, let's say, the scenario that we will not heat the wall, and we will be able to avoid the most catastrophic climate change impacts. Unfortunately, we don't see that political debate is going into the right direction. There are countries in Europe that are still depending on fossil fuels, such as Poland. And I'm not only talking about coal. Poland is known for the coal dependency, but we are on the way of phasing out coal at the moment. I'm talking about the Polish situation, but what is what is worrying is that European countries are getting more and more dependent on natural gas, fossil gas, that also causes climate change.
So would you say that, is it fair to say that you think the current heat wave and the trend of the change of climate that we are seeing right now, you would put the main culprit as the use of fossil fuel?
Exactly. That's not only my opinion. That's what scientists are saying. World Weather Attribution published a report saying that without immediate and drastic measures to reduce consumption of the fossil fuel, such events as we are experiencing now in Europe, heat waves, with all its dramatic toll, will increase in the future, depending on the scenarios, because we know that at the moment our world gets temperature higher of 1.3 degrees compared to the pre-industrial era. So with even further increase of the average temperature, we can experience 5 up to 10 times more likely this kind of events to happen. So we can say that it will be more probable that heat waves such as this one we will be experiencing even often in the future, and they will be even more impactful because the temperature during the heat waves will be even higher than now. Some scientists are saying it might be even 2 Celsius degrees higher than now, and you can imagine how difficult it might be for the health system. This year we are getting a lot of reports saying that the health system is in some countries not able to provide necessary service. For example, in the mentioned by me Scandinavia, some surgeries needed to be postponed because the cooling systems in the hospitals were not working. Try to imagine that you are waiting for the operation and it can't be done because of the heat wave, and you don't know how long this heat wave will take. So that's one problem. Also for the elderly people, for young people, for people with additional diseases, heat waves might be deadly. And it's extremely important to think not only about infrastructure, because our infrastructure in Europe is not prepared for such events. The whole system is not prepared for fighting another wildfire.
Right. These all sound very devastating, but I'm also very curious about what you mentioned earlier that I'm hoping that we can use the rest of our time to devote to, because you were talking about the political discourse around it being going in the, well, less optimistic direction, to say the least. Where do you think it went wrong? What do you think is contributing to the fact that maybe the political class have less desire to deal with the situation?
I would say it's a combination of several factors. The business as usual, the political decisions that need to be taken, they might be challenging for some politicians, and of course we are going into the circumstances where the politicians must take hard decisions, and not everybody can accept it. Like for some people, it's quite challenging to understand the link between political decisions that are going into the political decisions that will say, well, we have to phase out fossil fuels. And of course, that's the most challenging thing. So the business as usual, and also the lobbying of the industry, the coal industry, gas, and fossil fuel industry. Let's name it that way. However, of course, I'm talking about the impact of the climate change, but a lot of things can be done, and those things are not so far away from reaching them, for reaching out to them. I was talking about phasing out fossil fuel. That's of course one direction, but what also can be done in the whole countries in Europe is the protection of the nature. We know that nature can be our ally with in the world where we have to face climate change impacts. So the forest protection, for example, Poland, Polish government decided to take 20% of the Polish forest and leave it from forest management. Of course, we are not there yet. The government is still working on it, and of course, the NGOs are critical towards the speed of this process. However, it's a good example of how shall we thinking about our ecosystem, because if the nature can help us, why not reaching out to the nature? And also
brilliant. Like
oceans
the ecosystem,
protection,
of course, being one of the very big aspects of it as well. Unfortunately, we are a little bit short of time, but thank you so much for your input and insight. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Cheers. And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.